Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm so glad that you're here today. I hope you're doing well. In today's video, we're going to be planning in my Faith Happy Planner, which I have not planned with you guys in a little bit, but I want to do that today. But before we get started, let me introduce myself. My name is Gigi, and I've always loved planning. So in this channel, I share content about planner decorations, budgeting, and sometimes some fun games and challenges to keep things interesting. If that sounds like your kind of content, I'd love for you to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. Now let's go ahead and jump in today's video. Like I said, today I'm going to be planning in my Faith planner. So I have my page here marked, and this planner is undated. So we have to do the whole process and date the planner. And in the meantime, while I do my decoration with you guys, I want to talk to you guys about anxiety and stress. So that's going to be a voiceover that I'm going to be doing. And the reason for that is because last week my mom was really ill and I stayed with her. That's why you guys didn't see any videos from me last week. But then on my way home, my mom lives about an hour and a half away from me. So when I go up there for her doctor's appointments, I just stay with her. And then I come back home in a couple of days. But on my way home, one of my brother-in-laws was in the hospital and his blood pressure was too high. So they checked for any heart attacks and any strokes, and he didn't have any. So we are happy about that. He's still young. He's younger than 50 years old. That's all I'm going to say about that. But he's still young for him to be having all that pain. So everything was related to stress. Everything was related to just too much anxiety about stress, work, life, and etc. So that's what I want to talk to you guys about. But before we do that, the sticker books that I'm going to be using in this decoration is going to be this one, Beautiful Blooms from the Happy Planner. I want to use more green florals here. It's a sticker book that hardly anybody uses, and the pages are clear. But if you can see here, let me just use this as a background. This is how they look. So that's why I want to use this sticker book, because I want to use the green color. So I'm not sure what florals I'm going to be using here, but I just want you guys to see how this sticker book is. It's something different that the Happy Planner did. They only did it that one time. So, but this is where I'm going to be getting my flowers from. And then I want to use this Minimalist from the Happy Planner also, because we're going to be talking about anxiety and stress and all that stuff. So the color that I chose here for me to use is going to be this green color. That's why I have this marked right here. I can just go ahead and remove this now. But I want to concentrate more in the light green, and that's why I'm going to use the green florals here. So that's what's going to be going on while we talk a little bit about this anxiety that so many of us have, and the stress that so many of us have, that sometimes we are so stressed out that we don't even realize it. And then I also grabbed these boxes from Mojo Jojo Plans, because this one is an undated planner. So I want to date it, but I want to date it with the green color, just so it can match whatever florals I'm going to be using here. So that's what I'm going to be doing as I talk to you guys about this. And because this is a faith video, I have gathered some scriptures that it might help you out. I hope that they do. So I'm going to just be doing a voiceover, and then I'll come back to you guys once I finish decorating this week. So let's go ahead and talk about this anxiety. Like I mentioned, my brother-in-law was in the hospital. They checked for a lot of different things. Thankfully, everything just came down to just being stressed. And then last week, or I think this weekend that just passed, one of my sisters was in the hospital with the same situation, just stress. So life can stress us out, and sometimes we don't even realize it because we're too busy lifing that we don't realize it. And we could be stressed out. That can also bring some depression and we don't realize it until it's like really heavy. So something that we just need to pay attention to ourselves, and keep an eye on the things that we do or we stop doing to see how we're doing mentally. So that's why I want to talk about anxiety and being overwhelmed. I did do some research, and that's why I have some scriptures that I will add the scriptures on the screen for you in case you do want to look for them. Because I'm not going to be reading all the scriptures. I would like for you to grab your own Bible and go ahead and review the scripture yourself and maybe just meditate on it. Coming from a person who suffered from anxiety, panic attacks, and I stopped taking my medications years ago because I did not want to be attached to no meds to deal with the situation, and I was able to overcome the situation without medication. I used to get anxiety attacks like bad. They would last me like 4 hours each time. And I would get them about 4 to 5 times a week. So that was extremely tiring. So everything was connected. And I started doing research because I refused to take actual medication because they made me feel even worse. So that's why I want to talk about this. And in the future videos, future faith videos, I would like to continue talking about this. If there's any comments that you would like that will be something positive to help other people in the comments, I would greatly appreciate it if you can just add it there. But make sure that you are staying positive. So right now we live in times of anxiety. We already know that. It's critical times to deal with. Many people are dealing with financial crisis, family breakdowns, war that's going on in different places of the world, deadly diseases, outbreaks, and natural or man-made disasters. Now add to this a variety of personal worries. Not all anxiety is bad. A healthy fear of danger helps us to avoid harm, but extreme or constant anxiety is destructive. So let's just make sure that whatever anxiety we have, we can control it, so we don't go the extreme. Now, the answer involves applying practical wisdom, nurturing real faith in God, and building a reliable hope for the future. Sometimes we do say that we believe in God, but that's where it stays. We don't do anything towards that. And I think that's one of the mistakes that most people make. We need to do God's will in order to be able to survive the kind of world that we're living in. So when I read Philippians 4:6, which is one of my favorites because it actually helped me out throughout many years of hard times in my life, and I always recommend it to everybody. Philippians 4:6. I will add it here in the on the screen. Now, I do want to read this one to you because we're going to actually break it down. It says, "Do not be anxious over anything, but in everything, by prayer and supplication, along with thanksgiving, let your petitions be made known to God." Now, worshipers of God can relieve their excessive worry and anxiety by praying to Him. He promises to give you inner peace, which will help you cope with your anxiety and protect your thinking and emotions. Now, verse 6 identifies forms of prayer that can help you receive such peace. That's why I wanted to read it and break it down for you or with you. There are a few words where I would like to dig in and share a little bit more. For example, be anxious. That can refer to worrying or being overly concerned in a way that divides a person's mind and distracts them, robbing them from joy. When it says in everything, anything that affects a Christian's relationship with God or your life as one of God's servants can be a proper subject of prayer, as long as our prayers are in harmony with God's will. They may embrace virtually every facet of life. A Christian may feel free to talk to God about their inmost feelings, needs, fears, and anxieties. But as long as our prayers are in harmony with God's will, they may embrace virtually every facet of life. These are notes and information that I was able to get from my research. So now the next word that I want to just say something about it is supplications. So when it says by prayer and supplications, then prayers that involve earnest pleading, that's what supplication is. So a person might supplicate God when under stress, as Jesus did. You can read Hebrews 5:7. I'll put it here on the screen. So then it says, along with thanksgiving. So prayers of thanksgiving to God express gratitude for what He has done and will do for us. When we focus on reasons we have to thank God, it helps us maintain a joyful outlook. So it could be simple as I woke up today and I was able to eat breakfast. Give thanks to God for that, because it's something that other people might not be able to do. And if you're able to do so, we do so many things throughout the day that we can be so thankful, and we just take it for granted. And just being thankful for those little things will actually make a difference in ourselves. Then the next word, where it says, let your petitions be made known to God. So petitions are specific requests made to God. His worshippers can offer petitions in everything or in every situation. However, such prayers must be, again, in harmony with God's will, as revealed in the Bible, 1 John 5:14. Now, to work in harmony with our prayers, we should not isolate ourselves either physically or mentally. You can also read Proverbs 18:1. Rather, we would do well to consider Bible principles and directions that touch on our problem, avoiding reliance upon our own understanding. And this is very, very important. We need to try to understand the message that God is telling us in the Bible and not rely on everything that we think, because sometimes we can be wrong and we're understanding the message incorrectly. You can also read Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. Chapter 3, verses 5 and 6. So if we can think of a person that is not emotionally involved in our problems or our situation, and a person that has God's mind on the matter, can often help us to look at our problems from a different perspective. So we always need to make sure that we look for like-minded people that can help us out with our situation. And while they will not make decisions for us, they can be a great source of encouragement and support. So now the question is, why should we wait for God? No one can deny that there is enough stress in dealing with our real problems each day without adding to them by worrying about imaginary ones. If anxiety over what might happen makes us feel apprehensive and uneasy, then let us turn to Jehovah in prayer and supplication. Look to His Word for direction, meaning look to the Bible for direction, wisdom, and soundness of mind. We will find that whatever circumstance may arise, there is help available to deal with it. We just need to move on and look for it in order for us to actually find it. I've had people that have asked, will God help me if I pray? The answer is yes. God helps those who sincerely ask for things that are in harmony, again, in harmony with His will. Even if you haven't prayed before, or if you don't pray often, the Bible's examples of those who prayed, God help me, can encourage you. God listens to all who come to Him with the right attitude, such as those who are broken at heart or crushed in spirit. You can look it up on Psalms 34, verse 18. God observes details about you that even you are not aware of. How much more then will He listen if you pray for His help with your anxieties? Think about that. Meditate on that little point. Now, the key points that we have talked about today are: prayer is the antidote to worry. If we pray in faith, God will give us peace that surpasses all understanding. And although we may not see a way out of our problems, Jehovah God can help us to endure. He may even do the unexpected. We never know unless we ask for it. You can read 1 Corinthians 10:13. And this is just a little bit of information that I was able to do research on. If you can do your own research to help your own problem, whatever problem it is that you're having, I'm sure that that will give you some type of peace. But before you do the research, my advice to you is to pray to God before you do that. Pray to Him. Ask Him to help you find answers, or to give you peace while you look for the answers, and to help you find a solution to your problem. He's not going to solve your problem. We have to solve our own problems, but He'll give you peace of mind. And if you ask for understanding, if you ask for specific words that you feel that it might help you deal with this problem, or accept the problem, or find a solution, put that in your prayer. And little by little, things are going to be getting resolved or getting easier. Sometimes we just need to accept the situation. And I feel, and I have seen in my own family, I can say that because we have a hard time accepting life reality, we make things worse. And I have learned, suffering from anxiety and panic attacks, I have learned, and depression, that the main thing that I have to do is just look at the situation from a distance. Try to get myself out of the picture so I can look at the entire picture. Accept what's going on, and then see if there are different solutions or different ways that I can just deal with the problem. Because sometimes it could be a problem that you cannot get rid of. But if you learn how to deal with it, and if you learn how to accept it, it's going to make your life a lot easier. Sometimes I do ask people that actually do know me, what do you think about this situation? And I listen to their advice. I don't take their advice 100% of the time, but I do take little points from their advice that I feel that is going to help me and my situation. And that has worked for me. Also, the second thing that I would do, once you're done looking for the information and you're done looking for reading the Bible and whatever it is that you're doing, go ahead and do another prayer to finish that. And ask God to give you understanding on what you just learned, on what you just read, to give you understanding so you can apply those things to your life. When it says in harmony with God's will, that's the key. Anytime that you do something in harmony with God's will, it's going to help you in a positive way. You might not get 100% the answer that you expect, but it's going to be positive. And that's one thing that I see that human beings have a problem with. We're expecting for a problem to be solved a certain way. And sometimes that's not the best way for us. God knows better. He knows best. So let's just work with Him with our situation. If you're fighting anxiety, if you're fighting depression, just pray about that. And let God guide you and drive you the best way that He knows that is for you, and not the way that you think in your mind that that's the way that it needs to be. Because it doesn't need to be that way. The only thing that needs to be that way is us doing God's will. Everything else will just come into place. So this is the information that I was able to gather from the research that I was doing, that I wanted to share with you guys, because my family is going through tough situations. My sister, my brother-in-law with the stress, my mom with the illness, which we've been dealing since the beginning of the year with that. She's been doing better. She's had some procedures done, and we're almost there trying to find out the situation with her. In the meantime, we just need to keep pushing. We have accepted that she has an illness, and my mom is in her early 80s. My grandmother is 106. I've mentioned this before. So thankfully, we help each other out. It's 5 kids that she has, and we work together for their benefit. Not our own benefit, but for their benefit, because we want them to last for as long as they can. Like I said, my grandmother is 106, and she's able to do everything that you can do. She cooks for herself, she cleans, she takes a shower by herself, she does everything by herself. So that's how strong we want our mom to be. And that's what we keep pushing to find out what is going on with her situation. But let me know if you like this type of video. For next week, the subject that I have for next week is how to reduce anxiety. I already did the research on that. Again, this is just going to be during my faith videos. I'm going to be just doing research, Bible research, not me saying stuff, but things that are coming from the Bible. Because I want to make sure that you understand that this is coming from God and it's not coming from Gigi. Gigi's just giving you the information. If there's any questions that you may have, or anything that you may want to talk about, I am willing to listen. I am not going to judge, because we all go through different situations. Sometimes we all go through the same situation, and we have other advice that we can give people that maybe they're not thinking about. You can always send me a private message on Instagram, like that. We're not talking about your personal stuff here where everybody can actually see it. If there's anything that you would like for me to do research on for you, then let me know. And I will greatly do the research for you, because I will be helping you and helping other people maybe going through your situation, and they're just not saying anything because they feel bad, or they feel embarrassed, or they're just scared of what's going to happen, what they're going to hear. So you might be helping somebody else by asking to do a specific research that's according to God and according to the Bible and His will. Now let's get back into the video. Okay, so I got a little distracted with the phone call that I received, but I don't like this area right here. So I'm just going to remove this from here, and I'm going to add it here. And I did not want to add any boxes from Mojo sticker books, the JoJo sticker books, because I didn't want to change the green color. As it is, this one is already too dark for me. But I think I'm going to leave it that way. I think I'm going to add some flowers here, which is going to be the one that I just put back. Let's see if I can just find it, because it's a little bit hard to just go through this and find what you're looking for. I think it's this one right here. Yeah, it came off easy. So I think I want to put that one here, just to cover up that area right there. And I'm going to add something here just to cover that area. Not from here, from here. I think I saw, yeah, the stars. So I'm just going to cover that with this right here. And I think that's going to be all, except I might want to add some bullet points, because the bullet points are going to match the numbers, which is this color right here. And that's going to help me even things out. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to, that's going to look so ugly. Let me put that one there. And I'll do one here. I don't know. I am not liking this. But I think I'm just going to leave it the way that it is right now and see how it works for me. It's the first time that I'm actually decorating the planner with nothing in mind, meaning all the specific information that I usually add in my planner. I didn't have nothing in mind. I just decorated. So I'm going to see how this works for me. I hope that it does work for me. But I'm going to leave it the way that it is and just put it back in my planner. In the meantime, I want to thank you for making it to this point in the video. I hope you have enjoyed your time so far. I also hope you found inspiration in today's content. Let me know in the comments below while we look to the final decoration here. This is what it looks like. Hopefully the brightness lets you see. I don't know. I'll find out once I'm editing the video. But this is going to be all for this video. Thank you so much for staying all the way to the end. I greatly appreciate it because I am working on increasing my hours. So you watching all the way to the end really helps me out a lot, and I really appreciate that. Remember to keep organizing your life one day at a time, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in my next video. Hasta pronto. Adios.